Not on a Wednesday morning. Good morning to you. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk, where we get together 7 days a week in the mornings to chat about what's going on in the world of weather. And it is a busy morning. Top two things we are watching today. Once again, flooding concerns across parts of Central Florida. We have a flood watch posted for parts of the area. We'll be discussing that. Plus, we are tracking the tropics, not one, but two systems. And there's even a third that wants to join the party. So a lot to discuss this morning. But don't worry, we've got you covered completely this morning on Coffee Talk. And in addition to Coffee Talk, usually we do this other thing on Tuesdays, but Jeremy was traveling, so we were not able to do it yesterday. So today at 10 a.m., we also have our Tracking the Tropics broadcast, where we'll all be together chatting about all the latest happenings. And it is a busy morning indeed. So I encourage you not only to hang for Coffee Talk, where we talk about everything, but we just go deeper specifically in on the tropics there. So anyway, let's chat about what's doing this morning. It is a gray sky over the area. This is a look over at the Kennedy Space Center. That's Launch Complex 39A there on the left. You got 41 there on the right. It is a gray start to the day. Let's get right over to our first warning Doppler radar. I'm happy to report that things are relatively quiet around the area. Let's start in the metro, where, the roads are obviously a big concern, and we're watching on our first warning Doppler radar showers moving in. It does look like some heavier stuff is going to be trying to come in around Polk County, Lake County, eventually getting into the tourist district and the metro. So that's where we're at right now. Let's come to the north and see the only stronger storm that we're tracking is this guy up here around Williston, Micanopy, and Fellowship. Checking out the different radars, trying to find, nothing crazy in terms of wind, so that's good. But this thunderstorm complex kind of working up toward Williston, Micanopy, and Gainesville in short order. So we've definitely got some rainfall in our radar scope, and we're going to, through the morning, be keeping that radar up in the bottom left corner of your screen, just so that while we're doing the Coffee Talk thing, you've got full situational awareness. You know everything there is to know about where the rains are falling. Sound good? Sound good. I noticed when I stepped out the door this morning to take Stella potty, it's almost a little cool out. Temperatures are in the lower 70s. We've hit that dew point, all that fun stuff. So looking ahead to the day, we've got showers, we've got storms the next few hours, and then the overall coverage starts to dial down just a little bit for our dinner time, afternoon kind of plans. But it is a soggy start to the day, no matter what. And with that, I will pause and I will say good morning. Good morning to you. How are you? Hope you're having a great morning. Anna says it's raining in Point Siena right now. Can confirm that's indeed the case. A concern today, just like yesterday, we're talking about flooding and all this. There is that threat for flooding that we're watching, particularly up in Marion, Alachua, Putnam counties up to the north. That's where flooding is just possible, without mincing words. We are in those areas under a flood watch, and it should say through, I believe it's tonight. Let me just double check that to make sure that hasn't changed before I go changing the graphic. Flood, not flood advisory. I need flood watch. Flood watch until the 22nd at 8 p.m. So so it's through tomorrow night. Okay, got it. All right, so flood watch through tomorrow night. So if you live in Marion County, just know this, all right? So let's kind of give you an idea. So the overall idea, National Weather Service has extended the flood watch for portions of north central and northeast Florida. Additional rain amounts of 3 to 6 inches is possible, and certainly over the saturated soil that we have there, it is a concern. So, we're going to take a look at Futurecast, but you have to understand the models have been about as useful doing the task as my little ones are doing chores. Okay? Seriously. And it's not me knocking, the GFS is terrible. Every single model has been a bag of hot garbage. This weather pattern is just tripping them up. So understand that going in. What you're about to see, and I'll show you Futurecast, and then we can look at the global models as well. What you're about to see is trash. At least has been trash. Actually, that's not terrible. I mean, that's what Futurecast is saying for, oh, wait a minute, it is completely terrible, right? A little bit of rain in Marion County versus the actual picture that looked like that. So Futurecast ain't great, but we'll just, let's just play through time and see, all right? So Futurecast showing some rain. So Futurecast was dry through 1 o'clock this afternoon. Cool. The one thing that I am picking out on it is that it's trying to develop some storms metro off to the east through the afternoon. So there's that. The extended Futurecast, let's dial that one up and see how it's doing. I don't even need to move on. All right. Let's look at the American GFS. All right. Give it a second to load. Big data. Okay, all right. Now, for what it's worth, the American GFS is not terrible, showing rains around through 1 o'clock and then kind of forcing everything this afternoon over to the coastal communities. So that I think that's probably the best idea. Morning rains, and then this afternoon it focuses off to the east. I think that's probably a decent idea as to where we go, and that's kind of what our official WESH 2 forecast has today. Showers and storms most widespread the first half of the day, and then into the afternoon we'll push everything over to the East Coast. All right, so that's kind of where we're at. Questions about our local forecast? Comments, concerns? Flooding, definitely a concern. Mickey's asking about the threat for severe weather. There is a chance to see a low-end severe threat today. We are under a level 1 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms, so it's definitely a possibility. Yeah, all right. Thunder was my alarm clock this morning. I'm going to need extra coffee. For me, it was the kids. But I, too, am going to need extra coffee if I'm going to be straight. I mean, if you watched last night's Coffee Talk, the evening version, I was like a punch-drunk mess. And, if I'm being 100% honest, I'm doing 4 live broadcasts today. Can confirm I'm going to be a complete mess. But we'll roll through together. William says Daytona is getting dark. I mean, it looks like, yeah, you've got some rain kind of working in your direction there. Yep, let me lapse it. Oh, it's funny. It's been kind of going around you thus far. So there you go. You've got some rain working your area. All right. So that's where we're at for today. Let's look ahead at our 7-day forecast. We are going to keep with a nice and wet weather pattern around Central Florida, right? Yeah, there you go. 89 today. 93. We're getting tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're getting into a normal weather pattern. So we're going to be able to get those temperatures warmer. We're going to be able to get a little bit of sunshine and all of that fun stuff. Speaking of normal summer weather pattern, today is the longest day of the year. Did you know that? It is the summer solstice, officially at 10:57. Officially at 10:57. We'll put a bow on it and make it official. Summer starts today, the longest day of the year, 13 hours, 57 minutes, and 41 seconds, if you want to get specific on things. Tom's asking, why have the models been such trash recently? That's a great question. It's a very non-standard weather pattern, okay? So here's what's going on. If you remember, about 50 so days ago, we had all of that hail and all that severe weather for like a week. This is that same weather pattern, just recycling. And it's such a non-standard thing with this, basically this trough and these little short waves coming off and really firing up in our area. And it's just not a normal thing. So the models are struggling to figure it out. So here we are, doing our thing. And what's nice is that, we know the patterns, so we can forecast. But the models don't... when you're used to getting at least a little bit of assistance and then the models are just not giving any assistance, yeah. It's just not a good situation for the models. For us, we just kind of do the best we can. But it's kind of like going back into the meteorological world of yesteryear where you didn't have models. That's okay. That's why I went to school, right? We're supposed to be doing pictures in Tampa at 1:30. By 1:30, I would think we should start drying out, particularly over on the West Coast. So hopefully that'll look good for you. Bobby's asking, when is the pattern going to end? Well, little by little by little, we should be getting more and more of a normals pattern by late this week. There's the 7-day forecast. Storm chances stay there, but it more consolidates to the afternoon. So we'll get there. Karen, love you. Tom says, someone get Eric a raise. I will take that offer. Tom, I thank you for that very much. Can you talk to my boss for me? So anyway, at this point, it's already wet. We just kind of have to watch those storms around. Patty, good morning. Late. That's okay. That's okay. Listen, I'm doing 4 Facebook broadcasts today. Certainly, you can catch the other 3 if you want. Cece said West Palm got really nasty storms last night. Did indeed. Oh, yeah. My alarm clock was a sippy cup to the face. Oh, geez, Laura. Mine was one kid screaming because the other kid screaming because he had to go potty. Okay. So there you go. Marilyn says, dog's going to the groomer today. I do not want to go out on this, and I know my little darlings won't either. My Stella got groomed yesterday. She looks beautiful. All right. Any additional questions about our local setup before we move on to the tropics? Anything? Anything at all? Let me get the tropics set up while I give you a second. Summertime, Janice says, and the living's easy. That's right. That's right. Old Gershwin. Because that was a Gershwin song. Anyway. All right. Good morning to you. That's pretty cool in a nerdy way. Oliver, what's pretty cool in a nerdy way? I'm updating a graphic while we're chatting. Oh, you go there. Oh, I need to put a space there. I'm building a graphic while we're chatting. Don't be mad at me, people. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that. Don't judge me. I'm building a graphic. Okay. Hi. How are you all? Let's see here. We had a light show in the middle of the night. Yeah, you did. Hope it stops soon, this pattern. Indeed. Yeah. It will. It will. It will. We know it will because of the cycling weather pattern theory. And that plays out, right? So, yeah. All right. Shall we chat about the tropics a little bit? Shall we do that? First off, let's just get a position update. There is Tropical Storm Brett on the left. There is Invest 93 on the right. And friends, Brett is getting stronger. Did you know that? Yeah, overnight, while we were sleeping, Brett decided it's time to show up to the party. Just a little bit. There's the latest statistics on Brett. Maximum sustained winds are up to 60 miles an hour. Brett now working more and more, it's feeling itself out there in the warm waters of the Atlantic. Moving to the west at 16. So Brett is slowing down a little bit. Very important. Slowing down, able to really feed on that warm water. So Brett definitely looking better organized this morning. Look at that. Now, that said, what's up next for Brett? Well, Brett will be moving into those Caribbean islands, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Barbados, the Antilles there, and will bring tropical storm conditions to them. More than likely, strong tropical storm conditions to them. Now, this is the intermediate advisory, okay? All right, what's ahead for Brett? There's the forecast cone from the National... Sugar. Can you click it, Burris? And there we are. Okay. There's the forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center. So and I'll just zoom it in a little bit. We don't need to see Florida in this moment, right? So there it is, working in Thursday late into Friday morning, right? Getting into the Caribbean islands as a strong tropical storm with winds of about 65 to 60 miles an hour. The problem for it, at least, is that as it works into the Caribbean, it's losing its strength. That's good for us, good for the folks that live there. Why is it losing its strength? Because it's going face first into a bunch of wind shear out here. So notice Friday, 60 miles an hour. Friday, 50 miles an hour. Saturday, 45 miles an hour. Sunday, 35 miles an hour. Little by little by little, the storm will be weakening as it moves into the Caribbean. Now, that said, our friends that live here in the Antilles are going to get a strong tropical storm. So there's that. Computer model guidance. Let's check in and see. They are basically as tight can be. Remember the adage, weaker goes west, and that's exactly what is anticipated here with Tropical Storm Brett. When we look at the intensity models, as I pull that up, when we look at the intensity models for Tropical Storm Brett, the guidance has definitely come down. You remember a couple of days ago, it was showing like a Cat 3? Not going to happen here, thankfully. But you can see kind of by Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all those lines start dropping off, meaning that Brett is weakening more and more and more and more, okay? So that's where we're at with Tropical Storm Brett. Anybody have any questions about Brett so far? Getting stronger, definitely looking better organized there on the satellite presentation, I gotta tell you. Definitely looking better organized. Brian, is all of this volatile atmosphere and heavy severe weather still a part of the Nicole? I don't know. No, we're not at the Nicole part of the recycle at all. The Nicole part of the recycle is still weeks away. This is not at all the Nicole part of the recycle. The Nicole part, the next cycle of Nicole, is July 19th through the 25th. That's the next part of the Nicole recycle. So we're not there at all. Yeah, we're not there at all. All right, any other questions about Tropical Storm Brett? Super glad that we don't have to deal with Brett going to Florida or going to be too strong. I'm very okay with that. Let's see here. I'm supposed to go to SeaWorld Saturday. What do you think? I think there will be afternoon storms, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Yeah. The hiring process costs organizations about $40,000. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that hiring process costs, but we're working on replacing Alex. Yeah. My friend get married and tomorrow at 7 p.m. in Cary. You're asking me if your friend's getting married? I don't know. Is your friend getting married? If so, mazel tov. Can you build a graphic with some clear sky in New Smyrna Beach today? I'll do my best. Ay. Brett is still being a brat. Look, Brett is behaving itself, if you ask me. It's not getting to be too strong. I will let you know, though, there are tropical storm advisories posted for the islands. So that's that. Dana says, hubby's from Barbados. How are they looking? They're getting some tropical storm advisories. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a tropical storm that moves through. But Barbados gets hammered with big storms. So thankfully, this is not a big, powerful hurricane. Thankfully. All right. There's that. Let's move on and take a look at the system behind Brett. Fairly unorganized, a scrappy looking thing for now, but it won't stay that way. This is Invest 93. The overarching idea is that Invest 93 does get stronger, does try to develop. High 70% likelihood that it develops over the next 2 days' time, and high 80% development chance over the next 7 days' time. Let me just read to you the update from the National Hurricane Center, okay? Satellite images indicate that the broad area of low pressure has become better organized overnight. Environmental conditions continue to look conducive for further development of this system, and a tropical depression will likely form during the next couple of days' time. Now, this satellite channel doesn't make it look like much, but we can really go a bit higher resolution on the satellite, and you can see there's definitely some organization and spin to it when you include some of the warmer cloud tops or the lower clouds. So there's that. Now, that said, I also bring this forward to show that there is a new wave rolling off the coast of Africa. Oh, what fun. If you were to show me this satellite, I would have sworn to you that the month was August or September. The sheer fact that things are looking like this in June is somewhat worrisome. If I'm 100% honest, it's somewhat worrisome. This is a very busy pattern. For June. If we have okay, let's just familiarize ourselves with some reality here, okay? Seriously. If we look at the month, let me just step away from that satellite for a minute. Here's all of the tropical development areas during the month of June. Okay? First off, June main development region activity is linked to very active seasons. There are 4 dots plus Brett. That's where Brett formed. 4 dots plus Brett. Never before have we seen 2 systems develop in the main development region during the month of June. That would put us into unprecedented statistics. And I'm not a hyper, for God's sake.
Oh, you're just hyping it up because this is what you do for. You just want to get clicks.
Y'all, I'm here even in the quiet season when there's no clicks. You know, there's what, 3 times the amount of people that are in our coffee talk today because of the tropics. I'm not doing it for the clicks, promise you. In January, when it's like sunny and boring, we're still here yentering it up. I'm doing it because I want to make sure you're aware of the situation. Seriously. This is something else. Definitely going to be something else to watch. So we'll watch and we'll track it for you. But there it is on the left. Brett definitely looking organized. That invest behind it, scrappy, but looking organized. And then that new wave rolling off the coast of Africa. Hurricane Center hasn't yet really addressed it. All right. But I would be willing to bet it won't be long until they start chatting about it. Janet says that third one looks nasty. Couple of things we have to remember when it comes to waves coming off the coast of Africa. They always need to get their sea legs. So what ends up happening is these monsoonal troughs roll off of Africa and they kind of stumble around a little bit. And then they kind of say, all right, figured it out, we're good to go. And that's when it's game time, right? So for now, we're definitely eyes peeled. Yeah. All right, Sharon says you're scaring me now. No. Let's not scare. Let's just understand. Look, peak of hurricane season when there's a bunch of storms and they're turning into Cat 5 hurricanes. My job is not to scare you. Don't be scared, but just realize this is not going to be the normal June into the normal July. That's all. Just know that we're going to get active here, especially heading into July, when the overall weather pattern not only favors activity, but favors activity threatening the United States. All right? Connie's asking, as El Nino gets stronger, might the storms in the Atlantic slow down? That's the idea. As the Pacific starts to become more active, the Atlantic would quiet down. But we'll have to watch and see how the Madden-Julian oscillation plays into it, among other things. Rodas Outdoor Services, Mr. Eddie says, start trimming those trees. Now, I know that's a subtle advertisement, but he didn't say use me to trim those trees. He just said trim those trees. Yeah, whether you use the Rodas Outdoor Services or whether you use any other folks, with the tropics heating up, it's not a bad idea to be doing those things because hurricane season is here and the wave train has begun. If weaker goes west, why is Invest 93 curving north? Is it from Brett's rotation? Yeah, it's a broader idea of the Fujiwara. So yes. I know, Chris, if only we could get September temperatures, but no, we're not. Amanda, I hope this won't be like 2004 hurricane season. I hope it's quiet, but I can tell you it's not going to be quiet. So there's that. I'm always used to looking at the tropics. Love the season, but never thought we'd be watching the MDR this early. Typically the Gulf. Oh, agreed, Danny. I mean, I've been doing the weather game for 22 years, and this is really the first that I've tracked a storm here or there, but I've never seen the MDR look like this. Seriously, in the month of June. Jerry says, not scare, inform, 100%. And if you've ever watched me during hurricane season, I always say, no hype, because I am here to level with you. I'm here to give you the information. I'm not here to be like, it's a category 17. Look at that thing. Oh my God. That's not the game we play. Okay. All right. If ocean waters are this warm now, is it going to be a crazy August and September? It could be. The question is, how does El Nino build in some shear and things like that? So there's some questions. There's definitely some questions. But at the moment, we've got these two waves that we're watching. Now, why does this look so different? It's a different satellite, and it's a different satellite. So this one updates a little more frequently. This is the Atlantic satellite / United States satellite. Over here, I'm tapping into the European / African satellite. So it doesn't update as frequently, and the colors they just look a little different. Yeah. All right. Brian's asking, do we have spaghetti models for Invest 93? We do. So Invest 93, so just for situational awareness purposes, Invest 93 is the system in the middle of our screen here. It is behind Brett. So here's the spaghetti models for Invest 93. For now, it is expected to recurve and stay out to sea. But, the models have been kind of wishy-washing a little bit, a little here or there. This one, for now, is expected to recurve, and we'll have to look and see what the global, the GFS and the European show, and I'll do that here in a second. Ecolitis, whoever that is on YouTube. I was trying to find your hurricane forecast on the Wesh 2 app with the pictures of the hotspots and dates, but couldn't find it. Where is it located? So on the app, I can tell you how to actually access it. Wesh.com/hurricane forecast. But I'm pulling up the app now. The short answer is it should be in like the hurricanes section, but let's see. So I hit this, hit weather, hit hurricanes. I would think that it's in the hurricane section here. Yeah, it's not. The problem is this stuff kind of auto shuffles based on stuff, so I'll have to get her. But the quick answer, if you want to see it, wesh.com/hurricane forecast. And if you go to that in your browser, also, what do we need? The hurricane forecast back on the page. All right, sorry, just talking to the web person, addressing your request. How do we get the Wesh hurricane forecast back on the page? But yeah, wesh.com/hurricane forecast. If you type that address into your browser, it should launch the app and do its thing. So yeah, long story long. Okay, so back to Invest 93. There's the computer models loading up. Should recurve and stay out to sea, kind of rotating around Brett just a little bit. As far as the intensity models go, Invest 93 is expected to become a tropical storm. So there's that. And the next name on the list would be Cindy. Good times. All right. No, you're fine, Eddie. You're fine, buddy. So that's where we're at. Questions, comments? Sally says our oldest daughter is named Cindy, so we hope Cindy, the storm, will be okay. I just hope whatever Cindy the storm will be won't be a pain in the tuchus. That's my request. In the words of Christine Daae, that's all I ask of you. Okay, all right. Anyway, to the tropics we go. Raw GFS model data. Okay, right off the bat, you've got your two systems, right, where the word forecast is. That's Brett. Where the 85 is on the bottom of the screen, that would be Cindy. That's the next little goober out there. Oh, sugar. I accidentally loaded the flight simulator. The button for the flight simulator is right next to... Oh, babe. You wouldn't know, but I lost situational awareness, people. All right. Let me get it back. I loaded a flight simulator for my son because he wants to fly. And now I've clicked it like twice where like I lose all of my control of Coffee Talk because it pulls it up on my computer screen. Anyway, okay. All right, let's move on. So we've got those two systems. There you go. Bringing Brett to the Caribbean islands, right where it says 73 on the bottom of your screen. Behind it would be Cindy. Now, there it is, Brett weakening in the Caribbean Sea. Cindy would be lifting to the north. Notice that the GFS is not developing that third system, that next wave. At least not yet, right? But look at that. What is Cindy would be coming up to the north? And there's like a little something up there in the central Atlantic as well. Always fun to see, right? That's July 3rd. There's July 4th. A little something developing out in the Atlantic there. But for July 4th, people, that looks like anomalously high pressure. Could we have a nice forecast for 4th of July? We actually might. All right, over to the European model. Let's see what the Euro is showing. There's Brett crossing through into the Caribbean. Cindy developing back behind it. There's Brett fading. There's Cindy getting stronger. That's as far as the 6Z run goes, so we can go to the 0Z. Recurving. Yeah, and also the Euro not developing that next wave. Now, let's switch over to the ensembles and let's look at the multi-member low locations, because what I want to do, this is the GFS ensemble, is I want to look and see if there's any ensemble support for that next wave. There's really not. Interesting. What about the European ensemble? So there's Brett, all the ensemble members getting into the Caribbean islands there. There's Cindy, some of the ensembles. And there's like one ensemble member that's wanting to develop that third wave. So that's actually, if I'm honest, that's kind of interesting. You know, when you look at the map, you really say to yourself, like, that next wave looks rigorous. But in reality, there's not yet model support to develop that. So, interesting. We'll be watching. Carrie's asking, my friend Mary's at 7 in Claremont. Weather, will it be okay? I mean, 7 o'clock in Claremont, there's going to be some rain around tomorrow. Let's see. Let me check in on the model data for you. What is tomorrow? Thursday? All right, so let's look at tomorrow as a whole, okay? So here's tomorrow, 9:30 in the morning. Watching the storms coming in again early. Another short wave of energy coming in. But for 7, for now, it looks like there may be some rain, but it's going to be developing and moving east. So if it's there, it shouldn't be that long-lived. So that's good. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Live number 1 of the day done. So, what's next? Join me at 10 a.m. WJCL Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Nelson will be joining, and we're going to be tracking the tropics. We are going to be going into, I mean, we did a little in-depth now, but we're going to get like straight up talking nerdy here at 10 a.m. about these 3 systems, what the models are saying, the overall weather patterns for the next couple of weeks. So join us, okay? Sound good? And then I'll see you at 3:30 for the afternoon coffee talk. I'll see you at 9 o'clock tonight for our evening deal. My last night for the week, working nights. And then I'm back to morning Saturday, Sunday. Good gravy. Okay. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you in an hour and a half for Tracking the Tropics. Bye, y'all.